Some U.S. senators are still pushing a bill for more anti-Iran sanctions despite objections from the White House and foreign policy experts. The bill, which was introduced by Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairman Robert Menendez and Mark Kirk, a Republican from Illinois, has now gotten 48 co-sponsors, up from 26. It threatens Iran with a further reduction in its oil exports and new penalties if it fails to reach a final comprehensive nuclear deal. The Obama administration, which has threatened to veto the bill, says new sanctions would damage talks with Iran. Tehran has also advised against any such move. The U.S. has imposed several rounds of sanctions on Iran under the pretext of its nuclear program, which Tehran says is solely for civilian purposes. Well, let's talk with international lawyer Franklin Lamb, who joins us from Beirut. Well, Franklin Lamb, taking a look at some of these U.S. senators pushing for more sanctions on Iran, they have said it's after if a nuclear deal is not reached. But at the same time, it doesn't help the spirit of the talks. Here it is, you're having not only the U.S., but the P5+1 group of countries trying to execute this interim nuclear deal, and yet these senators pushing for more sanctions. Why do you think they're doing this?
Well, a number of fairly apparent and repetitive reasons. First of all, the idea is, as you implied by your question, they want to finish these talks. They want to torpedo them. They want to squeeze and pressure and insult the Islamic Republic to have them pull back. And as we know, there's apparently some pressure in Iran to also look carefully and cautiously at this. But what we are seeing today is a part of what we could only say has become a culture, a congressional culture, because it's happened for nearly half a century. And what is this culture? It is putting the interests, national security interests of a foreign government, of another country, ahead of ours, ahead of America. And they have no problem doing this, even in violation of the U.S. Foreign Agents Registration Act. Many of these 48, and certainly the leaders, are essentially paid and bought agents of Israel. Increasingly, the public is becoming aware of this. They know they're not going to succeed at this, but because they're paid for it and it's expected, is expected of them, they're going along with this. But it's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment to all Americans' allies that we have such a right-wing, neocon, anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, pro-Zionist clique in Congress. So I think it's going to be that the voters are going to have to decide if this is the kind of congressman that they want representing us, even when the intelligence community, the White House, the Pentagon, our allies are all saying what? Don't do sanctions right now. That's explosive. Things are delicate. Let diplomacy work. These fellas don't want diplomacy to work. They want war. And I don't think that's an exaggeration. They're 100% behind AIPAC on this. They take their instructions from, this conglomerate of something like 52 Zionist organizations, all putting Israel ahead of our country. And it's an embarrassment. It's not going to pass. They need 12 more votes, apparently, to get veto-proof 60 to prevent closure. I don't think Harry Reid, he may not, the Senate majority, he may not bring it to the floor. But in any case, the president is going to veto it. And the president is going to have the support of the American people, of both parties, I believe, both political parties, and our allies. So all I can say, to repeat, is simply a political embarrassment that in this day and age, congressmen paid by the taxpayers can be agents of a foreign power and disregard our vital security interests.
Very well. Thank you very much for that in-depth analysis. That's Franklin Lamb, international lawyer, talking to us there from Beirut.